Hey guys, Pastor Tom here from Abiding Love. The verse of the Bible I'd like to share with you today comes from Mark chapter 2. Some men brought to him a paralyzed man. Because of the crowd, they made an opening in the roof above Jesus by digging through. When Jesus saw their faith, he said to the paralyzed man, "Son, your sins are forgiven." Have you ever heard that phrase before, through the roof? Taxes in Cape Coral, they're through the roof. Have you seen the prices at the grocery store? They're through the roof. When that teenage daughter came home, the dad was so mad that his anger went through the roof. It's a phrase we use when we talk about something is going extreme. And in the story I just read to you, we see four men who were going through the roof. Quite literally. They were living in an extreme way. They saw their friend who was paralyzed, and they heard about Jesus, and they wanted to help their friend who was paralyzed, so they put him on a mat and carried them to the house where Jesus was preaching. But when they got to this house, they saw a large crowd surrounding the house, and they couldn't even get to Jesus. So they came up with this crazy idea. What if we went through the roof? So they brought this man's mat up to the roof, they dug through the house, and they lowered the man through the roof. And when they lowered this man down to Jesus, the first thing that Jesus said to this man was, "Son, your sins are forgiven." How do you think they felt when they heard Jesus say that? How do you think they felt when, after all their efforts, after all the struggles they went through, they heard Jesus say, "Son, your sins are forgiven"? You might think it's nice to hear about the forgiveness of sins, but don't you think they want to see Jesus do a miracle? Don't you think they would have rather heard, "Son, get up and walk"? But Jesus is teaching us an important lesson by doing that. Jesus is reminding us that the forgiveness of sins is better than anything else. I want you to think for a moment about something in your life that you wish God would change. Maybe you're like this paralytic man and you have some type of medical condition, and you're praying to God so hard about it that he would change that situation. Maybe you have a family situation at your home that you wish God would change. Maybe you're praying for a job offer or some other type of thing that would make your life easier. And it's good for us to pray about these things, but what Jesus is reminding us is that the forgiveness of sins is better. The forgiveness of sins is better than physical healing. The forgiveness of sins is better than whatever is going on in your family life. The forgiveness of sins is better than your job, your career, any vacations you might take. The forgiveness of sins is better. Jesus had to teach that lesson. He taught it to the paralytic man. He let him know that his sins are forgiven. And that was better than anything else. Because Jesus knew that even if he heals this man's legs, that he would still need a heart that needed healing. So Jesus addressed the heart. He said, "Son, your sins are forgiven." But then he went on to say, "Son, get up." And the man got up, picked up his mat, began to walk. And you can imagine the smile on this man's face. Not only were his legs healed, but his sins were forgiven. God might change your situation. He might give you physical healing. He might give you that job offer. He might make your life easier. But you can rejoice. You can have a smile on your face, just like that man who was healed, because your sins are forgiven too. God's blessings to all of you. Enjoy the rest of your day.